Alright guys, this is part 2 to the carb-backloading video. Now we're going to get to the science of it. I'm not going to go into too many details because it's going to take forever. But if you haven't watched part 1, don't watch this shit because you're going to ask me questions I already answered. And remember I mentioned how the first half of the day, you don't eat carbs, and the second half of the day you backload on carbs, you eat shitload of carbs all the way to bedtime now. Why is it working? Why does it fucking work? Why are we putting on muscle? Why is the scale going up gradually while the body fat percentage is going down? Why? Very simple. Number one, studies have shown, you can look that shit up on your own, that when you fall asleep, everybody knows that, your growth hormone goes up, then it goes down. Down, down, down. And when you wake up, people think, okay, that growth hormone is gone, right? No, fuck that. They find out that about 2 hours after you wake up, if you skip breakfast, growth hormone goes back up. Now, a lot of you guys are saying, that's the reason why intermittent fasting also works so fucking good, is because you're fasting for a long period of time, your body releases a lot of growth hormone. Now people are thinking, wow, what about cortisol? What about cortisol? People forget that cortisol is not just to destroy your muscle. People forget that. Cortisol also breaks down fats, believe it or not. Look it up. It's in your body for a reason. God will not give you a body with a hormone that's just, the fucking devil. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thinks cortisol is the fucking devil. Cortisol actually breaks down fat if everything is in motion. Now, do not isolate the principles of this program individually, because otherwise it won't make sense. I mean, who skips breakfast? You know what I'm saying? Who eats carbs at night, right? If you look at it individually, it doesn't make sense. But if you put it all together, that's how the program works. Like I mentioned in the comment the other day, if you take a steering wheel and you just put it on the floor, it looks fucking stupid. It's useless. But you put it where it belongs in the car, boom, everything works perfectly. So you got to know how to use things. Now, when you skip breakfast, growth hormone goes back up, right? After 2 hours, it goes back to normal. Also, throughout the day, by not eating carbs, your body is burning fat for energy, believe it or not. It's burning fat for energy. Plus you've been fasting for about 10 hours. So it's like a little bit of IF in there. Now, when you go to the gym, this is where the magic happens. When you go to the gym without eating a lot of sugars, doing it, by the way, also insulin, let me get back to the gym thing. Insulin in the morning is the most powerful. People think that insulin, your body's, reaction to insulin is the same, 24 hours a day. No. In the morning, insulin is a lot more powerful. Meaning, it's good. You're gonna, store glycogen and all that shit. The protein you eat is gonna go where it belongs. But also the fats that you eat are gonna go to your fat cells. And since insulin is very powerful in the morning, and your body is naturally made to store fat in the morning, you're gonna put on a lot more fat eating carbs during that portion of the day. You don't want to spike your insulin too much during the day because it's just too powerful in the morning. Now, a lot of people think, well, it's an anabolic hormone. Yeah, just wait, we're getting to that. That's the reason why people that cut their calories down even to like 1,000 still cannot lose the stubborn fat in their body, because the moment your blood, your insulin spikes, your body stops burning fat. That's the fucking fact. If your insulin is too high, your body will think, okay, food is coming in, there's no reason to burn fat. Insulin is a fat storing hormone, right? Your body cannot, if insulin is released, your body cannot store fat and break fat down at the same time. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So skip breakfast, growth hormone stays in your body a lot longer, and I'll explain to you why during the middle portion of the day you can recover. Now a lot of you guys are thinking, well, what about my muscles, blah, 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 blah. Boom, this is where the workout comes in. When you work out with no insulin, pretty much, not only are you stronger, believe it or not, you're stronger the first 2 days you're gonna feel like shit, but after a while you become stronger because of, not only the growth hormone, but the adrenaline. There's different studies explaining how that works. You have a much more efficient workout because the night before, if you're doing carbs backloading, the night before, you remember you backloaded, on carbs. So those carbs are still in your body. So you work out, your body burns a lot more fat than sugar. Why? Because even if you have glycogen, right? Your body needs sugar not just for your muscles, also for your brain and different activities. When you don't eat carbs, your body tries to use most of that. Let me just make up a number. Let's say your body needs 50% of carbs for your brain and the other 50 for your muscle, right? By working out in a depleted state, your body cannot take the portion that it needs for your brain and use it for your muscles, because you still need a certain amount of glycogen for other functions. So your body will burn a lot more fat than carbs. But if you ate carbs in the morning, your body will burn mostly the carbs instead of the fat. That's why you get big, but your fat really doesn't go down. So you work out here, you're gonna burn a shitload of fat. Guys, I started seeing results in like 2 to 3 days. Literally, it's ridiculous. Now the problem is post-workout, now your muscles are depleted, and also during the second half of the day, growth hormone is getting ready to come in, because you're getting ready to go to bed. Look, it's almost like if you work out between 3 to 5, By the time you get home, it's like already 6. So the sun is going down. You're getting ready to go to sleep. Your body, kind of like switch gears. Okay, growth hormone is gonna come in soon. So insulin is not as powerful during the later portion of the day. Now you're thinking, well, that's bad because then, my muscle cells are not gonna get the glycogen. Boom. That's where the workout comes in. When you work out, your muscle cells are literally, everybody knows that. Post-workout, your muscle cells are begging for sugars. So your body, believe it or not, even with low insulin, with almost little to no insulin, if you eat sugars post-workout, your muscle cells will still, I repeat, will still absorb the sugar. How does it work? In the book, he explains it. He explains it, and you could go on Wikipedia and look it up. Is this these protein things called GLUT, I believe, GLUT something, that are inside your muscle cells. Really, insulin is not what brings the sugar to your muscle cells. Insulin just triggers. Let me just draw it real quick. Say this is your muscle cell, right? You have those GLUT things here, right? They're the ones who absorb the sugar. When insulin is released, insulin kind of like knocks on the door of the muscle cell, and the GLUT comes to the surface and receives the sugar. So the GLUT comes to like around the outside of the muscle cells and absorb all the sugar. So it's really not insulin putting the sugar in your muscle. Insulin just knocks on the door and tells the GLUT crap to come out and receive the sugar. A lot of people didn't know that. Now, say you don't have no insulin in your blood, right? And you work out. The GLUT things come all the way up regardless of insulin. They still come to the surface and are ready to absorb sugars without much insulin help. This is why this program works so well, because after you work out, those things come to the surface and your muscle cells absorb the sugar, and then because you worked out, your body's priority is to really replenish your glycogen, not store fat. So all the shit that you're eating, all the carbs you're eating, yes, insulin is still being released a little bit, but all the carbs that you're eating are mostly going to your muscles, not your fat stores, because your body always works on the principle of priority. In the morning, if you eat carbs, most of it's not going to your muscles, it's going to your fat stores, because that's the goal of that portion of the day. Post-workout, it's going to your muscles. If you don't work out, then this shit won't work. And by the way, remember how I told you how the GLUT comes up here and is ready to absorb sugar? This process lasts for up to 24 to 36 hours. That's why the next day, even if you don't work out, you're like, oh, it's an off day, what do? You can still backload because the muscle cells are still begging for sugar because you deprive them of sugar for the first half of the day. This is why the program works so well. And you keep eating simple sugars. If you eat slow digesting carbs, what's going to happen is, by the time you go to bed, you're still going to have insulin released throughout the night, which is going to fuck up with growth hormone. If you keep eating simple sugars, it's going to go to your muscle cells really, really fast. Picture it's like a sponge. You put water on it and it soaks it up. That's what weightlifting benefits this program. Now, if you're not lifting weights, if you're not fucking breaking down your muscle fibers, don't even think twice about doing carb-backloading. Don't even waste your time. It's not going to work. Because you're going to fuck yourself up by skipping breakfast. And if you do eat at night, your insulin is weak because it's the later portion of the day, and you're not going to benefit from like the, getting away by eating the simple sugar thing. So, like I said, it's another 100%. There's a lot more detail that goes into this. I try to mention the important aspects, but there's a lot more. Buy the book. He breaks it down. If you don't believe it, any of the stuff that he puts in the book, you could just copy and paste that into Google and do your own research, and you'll be surprised. And once again, look at the results. Results speak for themselves. And it's not a program that's trying to sell you shit. That's why I love it so much. When I first read it, they're not trying to sell you anything. They're just putting facts, showing them to you. King.